Hello, and welcome to the Dokkan battle video. We're going to be taking on the EZA for LR Gohan and Goten here. Now, they're actually, like, kind of solid. I am actively pleased by what they did with their EZA. They just kind of made them, like, an offensive, like, Giga Chad. So, I do, like, genuinely like that choice. I think it's a good one. I think what they did, like, makes sense in my mind. Now they want us to use the planetary destruction category, and the thing about this team is it hasn't gotten a new leader since LR Broly 2 years ago, I believe LR Broly came out. So it's been a while. Actually, LR Broly was what, last year? And either way, like, it's been a hot minute since we've had any real buffs to this team. So, like, we're not gonna be using like the best characters here. Obviously, we have like stuff like Golden Frieza, LR Final Form Cooler, you know, EZA LR Cell. We're also using EZA Full Power Frieza here, just because I need more LRs to, you know, do the big damage. So that's the kind of like stuff that we're gonna be running. But at the same time, I just don't feel like this team has gotten like the proper setup that it kind of needs. Now, the thing about it is, though, there's a lot of really interesting units that are on here that if they get buffs or new characters could be really, really solid. Also, I will like to mention that since this is a video featuring Cooler, my cat is here, and she, you know, as I've mentioned previously, is in love with Cooler for some reason. But yeah, like, if we take a look at the team in terms of options, I don't have it pulled up, but Planetary Destruction is genuinely, like, not a bad team. It's right here. Like, you got stuff like Coolers, the Turleses, you got Jackie Chun is on here, Kid Boo's, Beerus, Kid Gohan from the Garlic Jr. saga, like all the Brolys, you got Saiyan Saga Vegeta. You got a bunch of interesting stuff in here that I think could really make a solid team, especially as one that could be like a 200% of a better team. I feel like that would actually like work really, really well. It's just that they haven't really done a whole lot with it. So we're just gonna keep blasting through this, trying to get this EZA done as quickly as possible. That way I can have fun with this kind of goofy, funny unit. I do expect them to be in the more like, not necessarily like the top tier of characters, but closer to like the Coolers and like the Beast Gohans, that kind of like unit where they're doing absolutely insane amounts of damage, and that's really where their value comes from. Not really like their crazy levels of defense or anything like that, because like while all of those characters, this one included, can tank very well, that's not really like what their job is. Their job is to be like the sole damage carry. Now, while it is important for them to also be able to eat the hits, they are all roughly around the same kind of level of defense, like where they get up to like the 750 to 800, kind of potentially over a million range based on their links. Their main focus is on absolutely ridiculous high damage. This character I have seen spit out multiple 17 million attack stats just off the rip, and that is kind of hilarious to me. It makes sense as to why they didn't like want to go too hard because of how absolutely insane their damage is. I think if they would have done literally anything else to them, they would have been probably too good. Which, I mean, granted, this is like a PvE game, so it really doesn't matter if they're too good. But at the same time, it's like, I get it. I get what they were trying to avoid, and I'm not like upset that they went down that like road of making it so that this unit isn't just too good. Because they already kind of feel like the Blue Fusions, except without a defensive mechanic. And that is wild to me, because the Blue Fusions, again, 5th anniversary LRs, they should be better than this character that came out a little bit, I believe, before them. I don't really exactly remember the timeline of that year very, very well. But, like, this unit was insanely good on release, and the fact that they made them just as good now as they did back then is, like, kind of funny. The one thing that I do also find interesting is that this character is one of those ones where people refused to believe that they were good. Now, there was like a very big stigma against them for a very long time. Like, if you were around in the Dokkan community when this unit came out, like, so many people were pushing an agenda that this character just sucked, right? people could not believe that this character was good because they were heavily RNG based. You needed to build the entire team around them, and people just did not like that very much. And then once LRK Al Khalifa came out, right, we started getting a lot of these characters that were very similar, and that's when this unit started rising in popularity again. And it went from being a character who was extremely underrated and people thinking it was just straight up bad to being like, hold up, this character actually kind of cooks. And like then they were brought up to roughly around like the range of number 1, 2, 3 range. I think it was they were in contention for second best character in the game for a little bit, but for a very, very long time when they came out, so many people would just straight up think that they were bad. It was absolutely insane considering this unit was never bad. Now, I personally have never liked this character until now, but they were never bad. Even on release, they were arguably the best character in the entire game. Granted, they weren't the best character in the entire game for very long because, you know, LRK Cleveland came out, but like, they were up there and people just didn't like that. I don't know why. It was like one of those years where every character that came out that was better than like the past character, people just refused to believe that they were the best. Like, this character's leader skill was better than anything else in the entire game. It's just the only thing was they had massive key issues. Now, that brings me to like what they've done with their EZA here, which is make it so that they have no more, like, have significantly less key issues. Not only is it easier for them to build up, but they also get key per like type key sphere obtained. So it makes it significantly easier for them to get 18 key super attacks early on in the fight. Now, when they do get 18 keys, I believe it's 24 key, they get an additional like massive damage boost. So you do want to make sure you're trying to get to that point every single turn. It's probably not going to happen, but like you're going to want to at least try. So they pretty much took the main criticism that people had of this character and then took it away, which is exactly what is needed from EZAs. I feel like we're getting too many EZAs nowadays that are pretty much just the character again, and they're not too much stronger than they were when they came out, i.e. Like Blue Gogeta. Who else got that treatment recently? I'm trying to think of like all the like EZA T-Wars. 17, I think 17 is a good example of that. Well, he's good, right? Like they didn't really give him what he needed, which was being tankier. They pretty much kept a lot of his stuff the same, just gave him more stats, and it was kind of like like a lot of these EZAs need to be better. That way we can start having them be on par with the characters that are dropping, because I feel like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for a character like EZA 17 or Physical Piccolo, who is crazy, right? Who else? Physical Vegito, Super Vegito, like all these characters that like should have been better when their EZA dropped this year, that just weren't, is kind of wild to me. So I feel like what they need to start doing with these EZAs, like I think the best ones this year have been Physical Piccolo and Blue Kaioken. They like took all the criticism that people had, put that into the character. Like for Piccolo, it was, oh well, his damage is kind of low, he's kind of limited, but now he's just a universal kind of a unit where you kind of just toss him on any team that he fits on and he's going to be perfectly fine because he has better stats, he has a better scouter, he stacks faster. All these things are just better for him, so he's able to actually perform significantly better. And then with like Blue Kaioken, he is now just, people were like, oh, the only thing people used him for was his damage and he just died, so they gave him guard and a little bit of extra defense. That way he's able to actually tank for a little bit, so that way when he does send off his 20 million damage super attacks 4 times and then does a spirit bomb, that he actually is able to make it that far. So I think that kind of design is significantly better than like what they did with, you know, Physical 17 is my main example, where the improvement was just not massive enough for him to be competitively viable. Like he's fine, you can splash him. Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, another example. Like, he's pretty much the same unit as before he EZA'd, and nothing really changed about him. So I want us to see more characters that are just significantly better than their pre-EZA state. I think this unit is a good example of that. LRK and Khalifa is like the inverse, where they are pretty much the exact same as they were before. Like this character, it functions the same, but they they fixed their weaknesses. Alright, so we're just about to finish up on the final stage here. do let me know what you guys feel about this character in the comments down below, like, because I feel like this is one of those characters that is gonna make the community very, very divided on how they actually feel about them, whether or not people actually think they're good or not. So do let me know how you guys feel about them in the comments down below, because I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.